Black man power, black woman power, black child power. It's KLX, King Leon X, the Human Liberator, UBVOA, with episode 39 of Take Charge of Your Life, Take Charge of Your Day, Take Charge of Your Mind, Take Charge of Your Mental Attitude. I'm still in Pennsylvania. I came from Harrisburg last night. Now I'm in Philadelphia. I leave Philly tomorrow, and then I go to DC, and then I'm gonna be in Atlanta on the 26th of January. I will be in Atlanta. But yeah, this is episode 39 of Take Charge of Your Life. What's up, family? Go ahead, type in the comments. Let me know that you tune in. But we're gonna get right to it today. Earlier this week, I should say yesterday, we was talking about self-discipline. Last week we was talking about assembling a pleasing personality, and the week before that we were speaking about writing out your plans and goals for life in 7 steps. So I need y'all to let me know that y'all tuning in right now, because I'm about to give y'all some major concepts, some major ideas, and things to consider when it comes to taking charge of your life. When we talk about taking charge of our lives, taking charge of our mental attitude, that's the only thing that, what's up, Miss Brown? I see you always in. You always tune in. You the most supportive person of my Take Charge of Your Life videos, and I'm going to shout you out for that. But anyway, when we think about taking charge of our lives, taking charge of our day, taking charge of our destiny, taking charge of our character, which ultimately, is using our willpower to change the direction. If we don't like where we're headed, we use our willpower to change direction. And as we acquire more skills, as we acquire more information, as we get clearer and clearer and clearer about what we want, then there's things about it. I'm sorry. I was reading these comments. Okay. Yeah, something wrong with my digital distribution deal. Like, my website messing up, so my music is temporarily off of iTunes, Tidal, Spotify, Shazam, all that type of shit. But it'll be back up on there in a second. But anyway, I'll get you my album. I appreciate you listening to that. I'm about to drop something new. But anyway, when it comes to taking charge of our lives, right? And turning our ideas into physical things, it's a system that we must follow, right? It's some strategy, it's some tactics, it's some processes that we must implement consistently, deliberately, persistently, in order to achieve the type of results that we desire. So this week we're talking about self-discipline. Self-discipline is one of the 12 types of enduring riches. Complete self-discipline. Complete self-discipline is mastering the mastery of the negative habits that stand in the way of your success. Right? Think about it. The mastery of the negative habits that stand in the way of your success, and the development and the enforcement of the positive habits, right? That guarantee riches, that guarantee the good life, that guarantee, right? The mastery of the negative habits and the development of the positive habits that lead to the good life, that lead to sound health, that lead to peace of mind. Mastery of the positive habits lead to freedom from fear, lead to a labor of love, lead to hope for future achievement, lead to harmony in our human relationships, lead to a wisdom to understand people, lead to a capacity for applied faith, lead to material riches of our own choice and quantity. Right, master and lead to self-discipline, complete self-discipline. And so what we're talking about this week is areas in which one must exercise self-discipline. Areas in which one must exercise self-discipline. We went over the first one yesterday. The first one is gaining the mastery of tongue, right? And we just stopped there, right? Gaining the mastery of tongue, acquiring the habit of thinking first, then speaking. Thinking first, then speaking, after you're sure what you say will not benefit or will not injure others, and right? After you're sure what you say will benefit you and not injure others. That was number one. That's what we covered yesterday. So here's the new content, the new concepts for today. I think I got about 12 minutes left. Let me see. Okay, cool. So check me out. So the second area in which we must exercise self-discipline is math. This joint took me the longest to even get into my into my realm of consciousness. This one took me so long to even internalize, right? But this is the second area in which one must exercise self-discipline. Mastering the tendency to strike back at others, whether for a just cause or not. Mastering the tendency to strike back at others, whether for a just cause or not. It's like, because I don't like disrespect. I don't like when people be disrespecting me, and when people disrespect me, I'll be letting them know. Sometimes the shit get loud, sometimes it get violent, or it used to. Right? I mastered this tendency to strike back. I realized, or I'm mastering, right? I realized that, you know, I don't have to be moved by these people's words or these people's perceptions or these people's actions. Although I do strike back at others, like when people who are within my circle, people who are within my bubble, people who are around me, like it's some things that I don't tolerate at all. And anything goes into those realms of tolerate, the things that I don't tolerate, I might spaz. My bad. I might spaz, but I'm gonna bring it back. But I'm just saying, it's like I get to choose who I want to have around me. Like you get to choose if you want to be around me. If you don't want to be around me, that's cool. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna for sure make sure that I only have specific type of people around me. Like, cause that's what I get to choose. I'm taking charge of my life. I'm taking charge of my life. This isn't elementary school or this isn't high school where you don't get to pick the people in your class. You just have to sit in the class and be there. Nah, this ain't that. This is life. This is real life. This is a future that we're planning. Right? These are experiences that I intend to create. These are moments that I intend to share with other people. Ain't no happen chance. Ain't no randoms. You see? So someone might not fit the mold. Someone might not fit the mold to be a part of my future, even though they're a part of my present. You feel me? Some people might not fit the mold to be a part of my present, but might fit the mold to be a part of my future. You see? But regardless, mastering the tendency to strike back, whether a just cause or not. Because this is the main thing. It's like the golden rule, right? Do unto others as we have them do unto you. Everything that we do for another, everything that we do to another, everything that we do to or for a neighbor, we do to and for ourselves. Everything that we do to and for a neighbor, we do to and for ourselves. Every thought or action, whether it's good or bad, comes back in time, greatly multiplied. Every thought and every act, whether good or bad, comes back in time, greatly multiplied. So, knowing this is an irrefutable fact, the posture in dealing with my human relationships, I know that I must be sincere and I must be poised, and I must always treat people in a manner in which I would expect them to treat me. You know, so I treat people with tender love and care, dignity and respect. When they get out of line, I check them. You feel me? And likewise, people treat me, or I expect people to treat me with tender love and care, dignity and respect. And if I get out of line, you must be qualified to check me. You feel me? If you want me to internalize that. You feel me? If you want me to internalize that, there's a certain level of our relationship that we have to be in where your words can affect me. You see? But I don't mind getting checked. I actually have queens specifically for putting me in my place when I get out of line. The third thing that we must exercise self-discipline is mastering the emotions of love, hate, fear, and sex. These are the big four. These big four emotions will make or break you according to the extent in which you master your emotions. Master the emotions of love, right? Were you Wait, I don't know if this was a Take Charge of Your Life video or another one of my videos, but I was talking about the mystery of sex transmutation, right? The three purposes of sex, right? Procreation, the highest form of therapy, and then transmuting that energy and desire and directing that energy, that intensity towards the attainment of a definite major purpose. Right? Most people, when they feel that sex energy, that sex drive, they just always want to channel it through physical expression. Through physical expression, we get procreation, and done properly, we might get some therapy. But the over hypersexuality disengages us from the most powerful, the most potent part of personal achievement, which is sex transmutation, being able to feel that sex desire and urge, and then turn that towards, take that same feeling, that same intensity that same desire that you would use to, engage in some type of sexual stimulation, and transmute that towards the efforts and energy to acquiring your definite major purpose, your life aim. But you can't experience the benefits of sex transmutation if you haven't took charge of your life. If you haven't clearly decided what you want to be, where you want to, who you want to be, what you want to have, what you want to experience, what do you want to see, where do you want to go, right? If you haven't wrote down your plan, right? If you haven't did your personal strategic planning, if you haven't made your life mission statement, all of these things that we've covered, episode 1 through 38, right? And so mastering these, like I said, the thing that we must exercise our self-discipline. The third thing is mastering the emotions of love, hate, fear, and sex. These are the big four. The emotion of sex, I was unaware of sex transmutation before. So anytime I would get my emotion of sex, I would just get some pussy. I mean, you know what I mean? And then I'll get my rocks off, and then I'll go to sleep, then I'll wake up, and then it seemed like we do it all over again, right? With bits and spurts of, productivity and achievement. I didn't understand how the emotion of sex, how the emotion of fear, how the emotions of love and hate can be intertwined, mastered, and then harnessed towards the attainment of my definite purpose. I had to learn these things, you see. The fourth area in which someone must exercise self-discipline is mastering the mental attitude. We've already declared that mental attitude is the number one thing. It has the list of riches. You can have all your goals and dreams. You can accomplish every single thing that you want. But if you don't have the mental attitude where you're able to appreciate these things, then you're done. What's the point? Your bank account could have 100 zeros in it, but if you don't have a positive mental attitude, it doesn't matter. Family, you can have all your family. You can be sitting in the joint, you got a palace with all your family. You feel me? Everybody happy. Everybody got all the finest things. All the luxury. Everyone's fulfilled except for you because you don't have a positive mental attitude. You can't even be fulfilled. You can't even begin to experience any type of fulfillment without a positive mental attitude. Don't miss the sunset. Don't miss the sunset staring at the specks on the window, fam. Don't miss the sunset worrying about the specks on the window. See the beauty around yourself, family. Appreciate, accept that, because as you begin to acknowledge the beauty around you, as you begin to acknowledge the things around you that you want and enjoy, these things will expand. It's universal law. They have to expand. These things have to expand. What you put your focus on expands. So we understand that the mastering of our mental attitude, that goes directly to what we talked about last week with our personality trait. Our mental attitude is what attracts people to us. Part of our mental attitude is our tone of voice, the expression on our face. Whether our voice is soft and pleasing or is it harsh, right? Whether the facial expression, whether it's soft or pleasing or harsh and scowly, right? Our mental attitude is going to determine, how courteous we are and how considerate we are, or the lack of courtesy and consideration. You see, and so we must master our mental attitude, or else we will drive away friends. If you fail to to master your mental attitude, not only will you drive away friends, but failure to master your mental attitude, you will destroy opportunities to get ahead. Right? Unless you take charge of your responsibility to exercise self-discipline and master your mental attitude, you will bring on physical and mental illness. You will develop stomach ulcers, dis-ease. All forms of dis-ease are the physical manifestations of poor thinking. Destructive thought patterns, destructive thought habits physically manifest themselves in your sickness, in your ulcers, in the dis-ease of your body, family. Master your emotions, master your mental attitude, or else it makes having peace of mind impossible. Peace of mind is impossible, family, if you don't take charge of your mental attitude, if you don't take responsibility of your mental attitude. Doesn't everyone know someone who drives away friends? Who this person could be the coolest person in the world, but their mental attitude destroys all of their opportunities. Their mental attitude drives away their friends. Their mental attitude is the reason why you don't even call them anymore. But they could be so great. They could be so powerful. They got so much value to offer, but their stinking thinking makes peace of mind impossible. And we already covered that peace of mind is one of the 12 types of enduring wishes. This is the things that we want, is peace of mind. The fifth point. Oh, it's funny because that's crazy because notice this, because number 3, it says master the big 4 emotions of love, sex, fear, and hate. Right? They will make or break you according to the extent in which you master these emotions. Right? And then the fifth one, the fifth area that one must exercise self-discipline just by itself, which I kind of already started talking about. The fifth thing in which one must exercise self-discipline is mastering the emotion of sex. I already talked about that. I already talked about sex transmutation. I already talked about the power. I didn't even realize it was coming up. Sex is the most powerful of all emotions. Nature's greatest creative instrument in which all things are perpetuated. The emotion of sex, family. Yo, what's up, Ebony? I see you tuning in. You feel me? You out the UK. I love the fact that, you know, my voice and my messages break international barriers. Anyway, how I have here in my notes, it says, learn the art of sex transmutation. This is what we were just talking about earlier. Let me see how much time I got left. Oh, damn, I'm already been past time. I'm at 18 minutes. Alright, cool. So tomorrow, we're going to go through point 6, 7, 8 on self-discipline. And then we're going to talk about why self-discipline is so important. Right? And I believe that we're gonna be talking about self-discipline for Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe Friday. We might finish this whole week on self-discipline. All right, which is the mastering of the negative habits that stand in the way of your success, and the enforcement and the development of the positive habits that will ensure the good life. So yeah, you feel me? That was Take Charge of Your Life, episode 39. Episode 40 tomorrow. Episode 40, damn. Do you see how fast this happens? Episode 40, I'm already on episode 40 of Take Charge of Your Life. I could do these in my sleep. Remind you what I'm teaching you all out of my self-help, self-mastery book from 2013. All right, these are principles that I've lived with for years, that I've applied for years. and now I experience the benefits. I don't want to leave you all behind though, because I'm in the process of leveling all the way up. And so I believe that if I continue my daily service, my Monday through Friday service of delivering strategic messages to the people with full of potent principles, maybe someone will apply some of these things, and maybe someone will be at the top with me. Someone will see me at the top. Someone will meet me at the top. I will see you at the top or from it. I will see you at the top or from it. I am deliberate in my pursuit to become my greatest version, to develop myself to the full, to live fully in mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and soul development. I'm gonna need things to use. And the way that society is set up now, these things are gonna cost money. So, the science of maximum wealth, the science of holistic abundance is my highest concern. How do I gain the whole world and not lose my soul? What results are expected of me to be called the most powerful, wealthiest, influential black man that ever lived? What results are expected of me to be called the most wealthiest, powerful, influential black man of the 21st century? What results are expected of me? And am I willing to consistently, persistently, deliberately put forth the efforts to have those types of things said about me? Guess we gotta wait and see. It's King Leon X, UBVOA, the Human Liberator. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you was better. Stay grateful.